All right, everybody, welcome back to Subverted Subversions, episode 10. As always, we have my co-host, Jesse Larkins.
What's going on, everybody? Happy to be back.
And then also today we got an awesome guest with us. Give it up for Jack Norman. How's it going, dude?
Great, thank you. Very pleased to be here to debate whether Raja Jackson should be in prison or not.
Who is that? I don't know who the fuck that guy is.
Raja Jackson, you didn't see the Raja news?
Is this Australian?
No, it's not. But hey, if we front load Raja Jackson, it's getting clicks.
Wait,
Bro.
I know this. Yeah. Okay, sure. Let me write that down in the notes. Raja Jackson. Because I don't know. We're gonna discuss potential murder.
Yeah, he's Rampage Jackson's son, and he jumped into the wrestling ring at like a regional wrestling show, amateur pretend wrestling, and beat the shit out of some guy until he basically was in a coma. There's been some controversy.
As you might imagine, Cage or not?
Why though? I heard it was like a dare. Like he was dared to kill someone. Is that a fact? I have barely been keeping up.
I think he was G'd up. His stream sort of G'd him up. He got punked, as they say, at the back, because one of the wrestlers thought he was like in on the gimmick, and sort of carried on a little bit, and he smashed a prop can over his head. I guess like he was like, oh, there's a streamer here. He's in character, right? Well, he wasn't. It turns out he wasn't in character, and he was like seething about it. So later on, he took the opportunity to beat the shit out of him.
Damn. Well.
Yeah, huge controversy. Guaranteed clicks. That's all. So you put it in the title, Raja Jackson.
It'll be Raja Jackson. This will be the only time we discuss it, and we just move on. We should totally do it on Raja, dude. That would be so epic.
We'll tag him.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring him in.
But no, why we're really here is Jack was kind enough to send us an early copy of Sleep Capricorn, his debut collection. So we just wanted to like discuss it, and because we all read it. It's a good book. I dug it. Thought I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, Jesse.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely. I thought it's a great short story collection. I thought we'd kind of go through each one, kind of, and break down how emotional they all made it. They all made me in particular.
Yeah, and what I won't do is I won't do a Stancliffe and hand the viewer the skeleton key to the book. I won't sit here and explain every single facet of the novel, of the stories, and more or less totally make the work itself redundant by giving the readers 3 hours of secret clues. I won't do that.
Okay, perfect. Because I have notes
Love
for
the episode.
We're going to spoil the entire book before it comes out.
That's
how devious we are.
Stancliffe, keep it to yourself, Stancliffe. Good Christ. No.
I was hoping you'd be okay with that, because I can't wait to break down each one of these and your thoughts going into them and all that rich goodness. So
for sure, man.
All right.
And for those who don't know, it does release on October 15th. It's out through Bonfire Books.
Pre-order now. Pre-order now.
Yeah. No, Bonfire Books, Legends, Australian publisher,
really?
but fully in the know, fully a part of the scene, quote unquote, in the broadest way you could put that. Lucas, the editor there, legend.
So wait.
Hell yeah.
So is everybody published through Bonfire like Australian, or is like Caleb and like?
No, Caleb's not. But Lucas himself has I'm sure he won't mind my saying he has roots in America. So and I believe nearabouts where Caleb comes from himself. So they share that in common, and that's probably why Caleb is with Bonfire.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I guess maybe before we dive in, I do love that it's so Australian. You know, it's almost like it gives us a spot of how Australia is really. You know, like I love that language and stuff like that, and all the little different. Every story is like, you know, it's just Australia. I don't know how to say it. That's cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. That's like what's the guy? Who's the Scottish guy who wrote Train Spotting? What's his name?
Irving Welsh.
Yeah, Welsh. He like and even like you can go from Welsh. He's from Scotland, or all the way up to Joyce from Ireland, and they're obviously it's a different caliber of writing, but they're steeped in the region. They're steeped in the culture they come from. So I figured a while ago that's probably the only authentic way to do it. So yeah, but it's really threatening for Australian. If you're trying to get the Australian culture across, it's so heavily parodied, and in fact, it's kind of like used extremely cynically, I think, here in Australia for Australian productions. Like they'll put on the Australian accent in like internal domestic Australian television. So you'll be watching a show and some idiot will be like, "Hey, you going? What's going on, mate?" And you're like, "What the bro? You don't like." It's a put on even there. So
They ham it up.
yeah. So I'm always threatened by that. But for sure I committed to doing it authentically. I think it came across okay.
It's funny because
I need an Australian to tell me if it's cringe, basically.
it's funny because because I'm like, I guess, a little bit into geopolitics. The only thing I hear is like China's going to take over Australia in like 5 years. They have like I don't know. Ching Chong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
fucking
We're in the region
Unabomers.
together, bro. Like, I think hey, I welcome the Chinese. You know, all the best.
Overlords.
Let's
The
get
Chinese
along.
brothers.
Yeah, we could be beneficial. It's okay. We can figure something out.
They're like,
I'd
yeah,
love to go.
We'll trade the Aborigines for the slave labor, and then you guys can have.
They could have them, bro.
They can repopulate all the ghost towns.
Yeah. That's right. True. Great idea.
But yeah,
So should we? Yeah, you want to just jump
Yeah.
into it? Start with the first story.
yeah, beg love, beg boredom.
Yeah, this one this premiered in what was it, back in March, right? In Man's World.
Men's World, yeah, over 2 parts.
Yeah, for the people who can't, who don't have the attention
Yeah,
span
yeah.
to read, the whole bit.
Well, it is a pain in the ass to read on a computer, I have to say, and I figure most people are. If you're reading Man's World online, you're probably reading from a screen or your phone, even worse. So
And it's,
yeah,
I read this whole thing on my phone, so
bro, it's so beyond me.
It's okay. I enjoyed myself. It was a very easy read, and I can't afford a computer right now, so it's okay.
Yeah. Oh no, if you can do it,
I'm also getting a physical copy, so it'll make up for
True, very true.
having to read on my phone.
Yeah.
But actually, just quick, why do you think it doesn't read well on the computer? Like, is it just like how it's made? Or...
No, not reading anything, I guess, is what I mean. Anything
okay.
on the computer or on the phone is a pain in the ass. Like I prefer a book, and I just find myself not treating it seriously, if it's on a screen. Yeah.
Okay, I'm a retard. I just watch everything on. Like, if there's a way to get it digitally, I prefer that. I'm the reason why the tech overlords are overcoming us. So.
Yeah, I bet if I wanted to get a tablet, I thought if I had a tablet and if I had whether PDFs or EPUBs, I could actually probably do it on a tablet. I don't know. It's like something. It needs to be in my hands and a reasonable size. So the phone is too small, and the computer is not in my hands. I think I could do it with a Kindle probably pretty easily. I actually tried to order a tablet online. I thought I was getting a bargain, and then it was a tablet case. I was like, oh. Good God! I spent like $90 on it for this premium tablet case and no tablet.
Oh shit! You just got. Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know. It may also depend. I think a lot of it also is like I grew up poor, so it's like all of my shit was always like really dilapidated. I would play video games at like resolutions that were like so tiny, like 640 by 480. So now it's not like it's like, oh yeah, I'll just read things off of a tin can, whatever. Like as long as
Yeah,
I can
sure.
do it.
I need the physical thing. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I've just been obsessed with owning books and having the physical thing in my hand. I don't know, yeah, just the tactile experience of that. I guess it just feels like complete, like the object itself as a piece of art or something is it's tangible finally, like it's there.
Yeah,
It's
there's something central to the object.
I
Yeah,
will
I agree.
agree. Yeah, because I recently published my physicals, and I'm like, oh, I'll buy it on Amazon.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah. It looks great too, by the way. The blurbs at the back, I love the design of the back.
yeah,
Hell
no,
yeah.
thanks, man. Yeah, put a lot of love into making
Yeah,
rectangles.
you can tell, man. You can really tell.
Mm-hmm.
But it, like getting the physical, it is the superior experience. I will admit, it is a superior experience. But
Yeah,
if you're a poor
yeah,
fag, then you got to
for
take
sure,
what you can get.
for sure.
But now it feels more complete that there is a physical embodiment of the thing,
Yeah,
like it's real. It's like, yeah, it's real finally. And Hatespree deserved that. I felt, I told you that when I read it all, so long ago or whatever. It's just like, this deserves to be on my shelf. I deserve a physical, representation of this fucking thing.
yeah. Him and Phil were like, you should make a physical. And it's just like, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Didn't you do it hardcover? Cringe, was it hardcover?
No, it's paperback.
Oh, righto.
That'd be
Yeah.
insane.
What I heard is that hardcovers are even harder. And after like the pain I went through this paperback, I'm like, no hardcover. I'm gonna have to become a billionaire before I make a hardcover, dude. That shit is.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought it'd be a nice, sexy hardcover to display out across a coffee table.
Oh, now you're
Would be
seducing me.
really fucking.
Just for all your company to have a look at.
Is your book?
Is Sleep Capricorn? Sorry, go ahead, King.
No, we're asking the same question, right? Like, is it gonna be in a hardcover?
Yeah.
No, it's just paperback. It's just paperback.
Okay,
For
so
the
that's
time
right.
being. Yeah.
Yeah, very very excited to get my copy. I hope I can weasel a signed copy out of you somehow.
Easily, bro. Easily.
Hell
You
yeah.
just have to fly there, bro. That's all you need to do. Just spend like I don't know.
Yeah,
you just have to
I'm
give me
gonna
your
fly out.
full name and address. That's all you need to do. So.
Oh, that's true.
I've got your name. I'll figure out the rest. Okay, yeah, so back to the first short. Man, what what an emotional gut punch this was. Just I mean, I don't even know where to start with this. I actually, honestly, like
Well, you were talking about it. This was like your moment. You were like, "Yo, this shit hit hard."
well, yeah, I read, because okay, I'm really gonna expose myself here for being a little bitch, but but I have to. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell the fucking world how good this was. So, and I'm gonna make this moment about me, even though it's clearly about Jack. Yeah, I finished Beg Love, Beg Boredom, and it's just like God, I cried so much, dude. I was just a completely weepy, emotional, sobbing mess where like I couldn't breathe out of my nose. I was just like a total wreck, and sorry, I can feel myself even getting a little worked up just recalling the whole incident because it was a lot for me, dude. Like I I stumbled into my kitchen, just like crumpled into a ball, just like a mess, and I called my girlfriend, and she literally thought someone died. She thought someone died. Like she was like waiting for me to get the words out finally to be like, I read this story. It was the story, you know, and just trying to explain to her through, you know, choked words, like the bare minimum, you know, of what I could communicate about this story. And she's like, "Oh, thank God. Okay, you know, oh, that's just, you know, you're just reading, you know, like, oh, Jesus, you know." But yeah, dude, I've really only had that experience like 2 other times where I read something that fucked me up that hard, and then when I tried to tell someone about it, I just started crying more as I was trying to tell them about it. Uh, you know, quick shout out to T.R. Hudson's story. I think it's called "Making a Monster" or something like that. It's about a Hitler clone, and surprisingly,
Oh.
the ending to that story really, really fucked me up. And just trying to tell my girlfriend about it, it brought it all back all over again. And the same thing with the Chuck Palahniuk short story Guts, where that kid gets trapped at the bottom of his pool. Um, yeah, but you know, so your story has joined the legion, the ranks of these incredibly
The
profound.
elite. T.R.
Yeah,
T.R. Hudson and Chuck Palahniuk, or however you say his name.
yeah,
Fight Club.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Have you read Guts?
Can we take Hudson off the list? Can we just remove him?
Yeah.
No. No. Yeah, no, I haven't. I actually haven't. I don't. I'm needlessly attacking Hudson. I'm sorry.
No, it's
No,
it's,
no,
it's
no, that's
unfair
fine.
because last month we had beef with Tukey's mad because they didn't review Fed Book. So now we were like best friends with T.R. Hudson, but now we have to disavow cannon fodder because our new best friend Jack Gorman tells us
yeah.
some shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because
Yeah,
later
yeah.
on we're gonna continue the beef with Tukey's too.
Yep. And John J. Stancliffe. Stop making skeleton keys. Stop handing skeleton keys out to everyone, you know? No.
Skeleton keys to the kingdom,
Yeah.
my guy.
The skeleton keys, death of the author. He just killed himself on your show. He killed himself last episode. And
He
he
set
said,
the
"Here,
standard.
this is the book. You know, don't even read it. I'll tell you all about it." So that's what John J. Stancliffe's about.
Okay.
But I was honestly astounded, Larkins. I was totally astounded when you said that. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It's not that you asked, but that's the whole point of the show. So I'll
Mhm.
perhaps describe my motive with the story a little bit. I
Yes.
won't, you know, as I said, I won't give you a skeleton key. But no, sorry. I'm honestly kidding. I love Stancliffe. I'm just kidding. I hope he knows that.
Hey, hold it. I'm like a retarded like author. Is like a skeleton key like a trope?
No, it's like well, the only way I really know it is that there's the book which is the skeleton key to Finnegan's Wake. So
Okay.
presumably the skeleton key is like a code or a guide for the reader to kind of fully unpack and understand the text, where and when the text is difficult or ambiguous. So I
Okay.
guess I'm just making fun of Stancliffe for answering every question that a reader could possibly have. You know, a
Okay,
reader
yeah,
may
yeah.
read Fedbook and think to themselves, how could I interpret that? Don't interpret it. Stancliffe has already told you the answer to your questions.
No, dude. Okay, no. Number
I
one,
went
yeah,
full
that makes sense.
autism.
Yeah, but I was surprised he even answered the questions. I was like, there's no way he's gonna answer the ending, like, cause that's like the whole book, and he's just like, no, like this is
He
what it is. I'm
said
like,
everything.
I was like,
He
yo, this
told
is
you
awesome.
everything. Yeah,
I can't believe
no,
you
he's
had the
legend.
balls to be like, "What happened there?"
I was just curious, and you know,
I know.
but I'm also like a stickler. I don't know. I like when things get explained. I hate shit when it's not explained, and I feel like you know he's coming out with his next book, you know, and you know the first book is good, and it's just like you know I feel like to end one chapter you kind of have to know everything about it, but you know that was just happenstance. But yeah, I'm sorry I cut you off.
No,
Explain.
No, you were doing your job as you were a thorough interviewer. You're asking thorough questions.
Yeah, but now I'm not doing my job by cutting you off from giving the skeleton keys to beg love, beg boredom. So what's the motive? To explain everything.
Well, yeah. Basic premise is that you like when you have a child, when you have a baby for the first time, that baby like totally robs you entirely of your free time, and it robs you as well of all the frivolous activities that you like enjoyed so much. But then, as it turns out, frivolous activities are basically, for many people, myself included, your entire life. So, like, and then whatever, and then you're like, there's all this guilt about, am I watching the footy? Am I watching too much football when I should be playing with my child? Am I, on my phone? Am I playing video games when I should be connecting with my kid? But it seemed strange to write an on the nose novel, story / essay saying, don't use your phone. Get off your phone, because that's kind of a gay story. So I was like, well, I'll take it back in time. It's the 90s, and there's a parental figure inspired by my own failings who can't detach himself from his his hobbies, which is difficult because I think people should have hobbies, and when you have a kid, I think too many nerds are like, I'm a dad now, and my life's about my child. And it's like, well, you got to actually be a person. You got to have interests, otherwise your kid won't really have much to model from you. So there is I think there's a fine line. In many ways throughout that story, I'm jealous of the dad because he's got some cool hobbies here and there, which I wish I could pick up myself. But yeah, he's too obsessed with himself, and I think he loses. He regrets all the time he didn't have with his family. But basically, it's fine. In the end, it's fine. Is the point, I think.
That's interesting because it didn't seem fine. Like his kid was like, well, I guess dad's dying. Well, oh well, fuck him.
Yeah, you said that. You did say that, but I honestly thought that the son, who's the narrator, who doesn't really manifest much as a character, but I was like, his ambiguity is like, he's kind of grown up. He's an adult now. He more or less shrugs his shoulders. He's like, I didn't have the best life, but things are basically okay. And his dad does pass away, which is revealed in the first paragraph. But his dad does pass away. But I mean, all our dads will die.
Yeah.
So that part wasn't exactly meant to be a total tragedy.
No, it didn't really like a tragedy. But you're right. Yeah, it's the maturity.
No, it's just there's moments that are very palpably tragic in a way because of the depiction of regret is so raw and so honest that it's just it definitely brings to mind the feelings that you would have as you get older, that have what could I have done, and how should I have had how should I have spent my life, and things like that. It's for it, yeah, maybe not ending on such a on like an incredibly dour note or something. It is full of these very palpably tragic sort of ideas and feelings.
Yeah, because there's also the other end with the mother, and I guess she's also dying, and it just kind of ends off on she's trying her best for the kids, and in her own way, which would I guess
yeah,
and it's just kind of oh, they're both gonna die. It's oh, that's it's oh fuck.
No, for sure. Yeah. I think
in KOTOR 2. Fuck.
Yeah, she does. She reminded me of Kreia throughout. Yeah, that's why I thought I'd just refer to that in the end. She was a bit of a bitch, but she was entitled to be a bitch, much like Kreia. She ascended. They created the Sith Triumvirate, and she was betrayed by Darth Nihilus and Darth Sion. So her bitterness, she's earned it. And so the mother earned her bitterness as well. And I think mothers in general, it's true. I don't know if I may have said that several times in a number of the stories. I think I've circled the theme, but I feel like man and fathers are permitted to have these identity crises, and they do have them on full display sometimes. And it's all to do with their family and themselves as the mothers just they just go through life more or less never letting their, I mean, a good mother, you know, they they forego their identity crises, they forego their midlife crises, and they just kind of commit to the family in a way that like I am a dad, so I've said like I'm committing to my family. Me just merely making a commitment like that has been this like total paradigm shift. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm committing. But you know, my wife is just like, yeah, my mum. I mean, I'm committed now forever until I'm dead. So mums don't get, you know, they're just like they never get the opportunity to slip up, I guess. So in the end, his mum's like addicted as well, but he figures, well, you know what, the old bitch earned it.
Yeah, and it was her, you know, embodying that role and needing to you know, to always show strength and resilience in the face of all of those things. You know, it just yeah, it was just such a classic, um, real real role of womanhood. I felt like, and I've encountered so many important women like that, older women like that, who are just very strong people like that, who like taught me a lot. Like I remember it really reminded me of this one time in seventh grade. It's like I met my friend's grandma one time, and you know, I'll always remember the fact that I shook her hand, and I had a like a limp handshake, and she told and she told me, she's like, no, you're a man, you need to like, you know, you need to like shake someone's hand with like firmly, you know, like you need to have a firm grip when you introduce yourself. And it's just like that's a kind of a classic woman who like I don't know who
Yeah,
who
I
understands
agree.
that kind of thing. It's
I
like
agree.
ineffable what I'm saying, but yeah, you understand.
No, for sure. No, and that's right. Like a real mother, like an enduring mother figure, is not often sentimental. Like she doesn't. She's not often like you know you imagine a good mother as being, I suppose, soft and sweet, and that's great. But the way they endure is because they're quite rigid and hard in their own way. Um, so yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. And that old woman telling you to man up and shake hands properly, what a legend. Because that's so what a great lesson.
Yeah, and
She gave
I
the firm handshake, but it actually worked because it wasn't coming from a boomer dad.
True.
oh my god. Ah, but but yeah, dude, because I'll always like I still think about that. Like I think about that every time I give someone a handshake. That's like imprinted on me, and her strength of character is embedded in me, even though I met her possibly for an hour or two when I was like 11. You know, like it's just yeah, something about that sort of that figure. Yeah, it's really it's I think it's important and indelible to growing up to experience something like that.
You
Indeed.
know,
Indeed.
yeah, because the dad really slips up. Like, I was like, you know, I wasn't like, I was like reading it. I was like, okay, this is the first story. This is all right. But then like when the kid like gets like beat up by the other fathers because his father is essentially like negligent and isn't there to protect his kid. I was like, yo, I'm really feeling this is actually like I'm really feeling the like the intensity of this kid that just like doesn't have anybody that can like hear his side and just made me feel like, yeah, I probably like when I have a kid, I'm not gonna do this shit, or I'm just gonna like, you know, let other people just like fuck with my kid. You know, I was just like really
Yeah,
strong
yeah, no,
feelings.
I know, yeah. I did that. That's what I yeah, I guess no, for sure. Um I know what you're saying. And I feel bad for him that he was young and he had no one. Um but he like I guess and so you should feel bad for a kid and you know, hey, look, I'm not going to take your interpretation away from you, Cringe. I'm not
Sure.
going to do that. So
Oh, okay. There was a skill.
But
It's not unlocked. Fuck.
but there is the sort of you know, because he kind of it's not like he has it coming to him, but it's just like a very real childhood
Yeah.
experience where you finally lash out and you feel like the victor or whatever, but then the tables turn in this totally adult gross sort of way that is beyond you. And it's like you are being punished, so it's like you do have it coming, but it's like the parents are making these very real human mistakes where they're not even doing what they should be doing. They're just acting on pure instinct.
Yeah.
So it's like it was just such a complicated, beautiful sort of interaction. And it just reminded me of shit that happened to me growing up.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like it's like that type of shit is definitely part of growing up as well as like
Yeah. It's super real.
being a victim and a victor and all that stuff.
Yeah, when I was a kid, bro, my this kid lived down the road from me in my street, and he would come around and play with me. And my cousins were over, and they're like older than me even. And we fucked around with this kid all afternoon, and we just like bullied him, just for fun. But when you're a kid and you have friends who live on the street, your neighborhood friends, there's this like twisted dynamic where you guys will hate each other basically, but you'll just play with each other every day because you live on the same street.
Yeah,
And then
you torment each other.
yeah, for sure. And then the next weekend we were at this function or this indoor sports complex. It's common to play indoor cricket, so you put nets around a cricket pitch and you play indoor cricket inside this net. Everyone across the world knows what indoor sports are, right? Generally.
Yeah.
And then that kid was there with his cousins. In fact, like 3 of them. So there were 4 of those kids. They happened to be there. And we were playing together in one of the nets that was being unused. So we were like 5 kids locked in a cage, basically. And my dad was there with his friends. And all 4 of those kids decided to gang up on me and beat me up because, of course, they're getting me back for beating up the other kid. And so 4 kids are chasing me around the nets, and they're all pinning me down and beating me up, and I'm getting away from them. I'm like a little freak. I'm scrambling out of I'm running away. I'm pushing them in the face, and later on, like my dad, he was like, yeah, you basically had it coming because you bullied him last weekend. But you know what? There were 4 kids, and they were beating the shit out of you, and you held your own. So great job. But it's not about that. He just had a natural. It's always good, I guess, to see that your son is half physically handy, but he was watching the whole time. I mean, I didn't know that, but he knew that I deserved it, so he was just happy to like keep an eye on it. And presumably if things got out of hand, he would have jumped in. But so I thought there are lessons in violence that kids learn and should learn like on their own, basically.
Yeah, no, because kids are fuck ups. I mean, there's no other way around it. They always just be like for no reason, because your mind isn't. You just don't know what's going on, essentially. And you just do stupid shit.
No way. Yeah, exactly.
Gotta learn. And just the realism of that, But yeah, I'm not exactly saying it's like more reason, but like the fact that your father was there and was like explaining it was like good and it made sense. Like the father in this one, where he just seems nowhere. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
That's
crazy.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's right. The reason I can write a little thing like that is because my dad actually was there, keeping an eye on the situation and not letting me, get fucked up.
So you can write the bad end version.
The kid in the story didn't he? He was in the bad timeline. Yeah, he had the bad dad.
Oh my god. I liked that he like sits down and plays video games with him after that incident.
That's true.
And there's some sort of I don't know. It just really brings a very nice kind of conclusion to that where they kind of bond, but it's not in this really overt sort of overly sentimental sort of way. It's just like I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I probably sound like a broken record, but just like it just reminded me so much of like my childhood and just specific bonding moments. So it just you really hit the nail on the head with some of this just very overly nuanced shit. Like really great.
Yeah, and
Yeah, thanks, man.
I also feel like that's like the moment where like it all coalesces and like the kid grows up and understanding like, you know, my father's cool in the sense that, he's my dad. Like, people aren't perfect and you have to like understand like, even though my parents love me or whatever, like there's gonna be some boundaries. Like my dad acts a certain way and it's like it's not the fairy tale like Disney where like my dad is perfect. He always loves me and he's always gonna be, like humans are humans and sometimes people, your fathers won't be there and you're just gonna have to learn and mature. And when he dies at the end, it's like he did a lot of good stuff for me. There was also some bad stuff, and learning to live with that. And I think that moment of maturity when he comes and plays video games, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. You yeah, you. I mean, it's the oldest yarn ever, but you can't hold your parents to like to this impossible standard because they're just normal people.
Yeah. So that was big love, big boredom. Don't know if we have much else to say about that because there's quite a few stories.
No, we can just move on to
All
the
right.
next one. Unless Jack, you had anything else you wanted to
Well,
say
no,
about it?
yeah, don't feel we don't have to feel compelled to go through every story individually because I'm sure some didn't resonate as much. So if there were any that
We'll just skip those. This is
skip
automated.
we can skip to the good part. We can skip to the good part.
Well,
Yeah, moving on past that one.
yeah, that was.
Oh shit, you didn't like that one. Oh man.
I would have said the book will end it here.
Yeah. Hey guys, so that first story, real great.
Yeah. The rest, whatever.
No,
It's a little bit like that. What did the Tookies mag Honor Levy, they did Honor Levy, and the first one, what's that the really popular story
My Love
that she
Story?
did?
Right? Isn't it
Yeah,
called
with
My
all the
Story?
jargon and the memes and etc. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
and I remember Cap said like, yeah, this is like a half handy set of stories, but like it's all downhill after the first one. And I feel like whatever.
Did you read it?
Please buy the book, but I feel half a bit that way about the
Okay.
the beg love of boredom because yeah, I don't know. Like I definitely like experimented a lot more with style in that one, and there's some more like the other stories I really like, but they're more like a sort of John Cheever, John Updike kind of like realist style.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of interesting elements in like all of them. I'd say. I mean, we'll come to it later, but I think was it No Adonis Has Come to Stay, where you were doing like Australian horror shit, like with the rats. I thought that was like so interesting. Like, dude, someone could totally make like an Australian horror movies about like the big ass, like I don't know, a possessed kangaroo. I know this sounds stupid, but like just the wildlife, all the memes, and it's just like this is actually brilliant. Like you have all the animals in the walls, and it's kind of like horrific. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it's confronting. Like you grow up, and there are some kids who are like animal mad, and they'll pick up like any animal. They'll just go up to an animal and pick it up. They don't care because there's like so much wildlife around. But like if you're a more sensitive little nerd like I was, like animals are scary because I mean you don't know what the hell they're gonna do, and they're like scratchy and itchy. But then some kids just pick up spiders, they pick up snakes. But when you live outside of the city, and yeah, there's like a possum in your roof. You're like fucking hell, man. That's in my roof, bro. It might fall on top of my head,
Yeah, you
mundane,
sent
like it's mundane, but yeah.
you sent the group chat a picture of a scorpion you found in your living room.
Yeah.
The king was like, "Is this real?" And then you're just like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, here, he's a scorpion."
Bro, how do you guys live, dude? I could never, dude. No.
I lose my mind.
Yeah, like, dude, just waking up to scorpions in the house. Like, excuse me.
Yeah, it's like a subtle. It's like just invasive. That's sort of what I was getting at it with Adonis. Like they're just very invasive. There's always the possibility of there being some animal in your house, and it really like yeah, it can freak you out.
No, but it was just brilliant because I don't think I've ever seen anybody do. Maybe because I don't have media literacy. Like Australian kind of like horror that was very unique, you know. And I think that's like when good art happens, you're doing something unique, something that nobody's kind of really seen before, you know. And
Yeah, when I think of Australian horror, I actually don't think about people utilizing like the nature of it and like at least in that regard. I think of like pretty typical kind of classical stuff, you know, but that makes a good point. You could have a total you know, like apocalyptic type of scenario where, you know, like the way this character does, where it's just like you were experiencing a hell of you know, an onslaught of vermin constantly trying
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
invade your
yeah.
spaces.
yeah, I mean, there's lots of interesting. I mean, the other thing is, I noticed there was lots of urination in this book. Like maybe
Yeah, yeah,
every
yeah,
chapter,
yeah.
this like, yeah, I had to
I know,
like
I know.
unzip and like just piss everywhere.
Yes, so true. It is definitely really true. Yeah, for sure. No,
Just
I wanted to like impose the phallus on this book. Like I was, you know,
okay.
I always thought like um, you often see it now and again. It's like meant to be like kind of a gotcha. It's meant to be a gotcha when someone analyzes a piece of literature and it's like, well, you can see this is clearly a phallic symbol. It's obviously subconscious. The author doesn't realize he's thinking with his dick or whatever. And I was thinking when I was writing these stories, I was like, well, no, I am actually thinking with my dick, and like I feel with my dick too. Like it's a lightning rod for emotion, you know. And it's like when you're feeling strong and confident. Well, I mean, I feel the blood running from like my chest, my stomach into my dick, and my dick gets bigger, you know, not even erect, just big. And then when you're feeling sad, sick, or scared, your dick like shrinks up, you know. So I was like I was like the yeah, whatever. The dick is the temperature gauge for these. There's a key. I've unlocked the key to the character's psyche. Pay attention to his penis, and you'll know what he's feeling.
Yeah, the arm on the cover of the book is actually symbolically a penis.
Yes, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's a massive dick on the cover. What was
Damn.
that? There was this. I was trying to find it the other day. I was using AI to try and find it. There are these like hilarious black pill comics, of like, you know, the woman. She's like a Chinese student or something like that, and she goes to the United States, and she goes to university. She's having sex with all these guys, and then she comes back and marries some, you know, some Chinese beta or whatever. And then the last panel is like the shadow of a dick because
Holy
the
fuck.
shadow of all the dicks she took in the US is like haunting their marriage or something. It just is, it's they're so funny. They are so funny. They're like these extremely black pilled, you know, incel comics. They're just so funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, the only thing closest to that, which isn't even in the same realm, is I don't know if it was big on 4chan, but it was like the blind girl that gets bullied. That was like extremely black pilled. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Wait,
But
no, is it a comic? Is it a
Yeah,
comic
yeah,
strip?
I think it was like a comic. It was like a weeb manga, but like a comic strip.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
basically, you know what I'm talking
Describe it,
about?
because I think it might be it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know. It was. I just remember it was like there was like this blind girl that she would just get like tortured by other girls. Like it was kind of the big thing for a minute. But
No,
I think
yeah,
I
sure.
saw that.
yeah, that's the only thing. Black pill comics. I don't know why that shit gets popular. People are really into like people getting fucked up. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I know. It's a dual. It's like a hybrid audience because one half of the audience is like fully consuming the black pill, and it's like women are whores, bro. You know,
yeah,
and like the other half is like it's just funny to see just how, you know, deranged
yeah,
the author could be. But I mean, obviously there's some whatever. Hey, I'm an incel at heart. Of course, there's some truth to it, you know. But yeah.
Um, I was curious. Does Bonfire Books, do they have a like an in-house illustrator?
No, the Daffern, Ryan Daffern. Let me make sure I've got Daffern's name right. He didn't follow me back on X, so I don't care if I get his name wrong. Yeah, Daffern. No, he's a Brisbane artist. He's a Brisbane artist, and his art book is being published by Bonfire Books as well.
Oh, shit.
So he's just affiliated with Bonfire, and he was kind enough to just straight up let us use his art for the cover. So thank you, Daffern.
Oh, so that was pre-made already.
Yeah, he had it. That's right, part of his portfolio. He's got these tremendous photos, pardon me, paintings, of rural sort of idyllic Oz with a bit of a spin. It's sort of I'm not an art man, but they appear to me to be what you might call surrealist, I think. And he's got a whole bunch of like naked women in the bush, which I would have loved to have used, but I don't know if it fits.
No, the cover is it's perfect.
Yeah.
That pastoral rustic
Yes.
sort of image is perfect for the book. Yeah.
No, the cover's perfect. I agree. Like it just like it hits with like the heart and stuff. Like
Yeah, I know. I really love it. Yeah, it's great.
because I don't know
It
how.
almost.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, King.
No, I was just gonna say like this book to me is like nursing home core. Like it was just like existential dread. You know?
Yeah. I know. There's a lot of old people, isn't there? They're always old and
And they're just like dying, dude. And it's just like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
cover
A lot of
slaps.
death, a lot of regret, a lot of fucked up life situations.
Yeah, for sure.
The cover almost also seems like it could have been a reference to the "Give Me the Final Say" with the guy.
I
out
think
in
that's
his
the
yard.
I honestly think because Lucas teed up Daffin to use it, and I think Lucas himself even said that really fits with "Give Me the Final Say," and I agree. Yeah, that one was a really fun one to write because it's just like for the first half of the book, it's just prose style and gardening, so you don't even really have to engage with any plot for that.
It reminded me a lot of my my coworker who he's like he's like a fathery sort of figure, and he's we're always telling him like to check his it's got to the point where we're telling him to check his blood pressure, and it's so fucking bad that every little time every like little mention of like manual labor outside, we're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you mowing your lawn in the fucking 100-degree heat? Like, don't do that. You're going to keel over and fucking die. And so again, another strange coincidence reading this story where all the neighbors are like watching this guy and they're all concerned for him. They're just like, is this guy gonna keel over any second? And then his attitude, which is just like, fuck that, like I feel good, why are they making me out to be dead already? That's so miserable.
Yeah. Well, that's great, man. That's definitely what I always hope that's the impression you'd get, because I think we're so patronizing to like the dead or the dying or the unwell, and like they want to do so, like it's their last years, months on Earth, and they're choosing to do something, and everyone is like fretting around them, like being a pansy and saying, you're not, you're just annoying them before they die. Why are you being like? Why are you doing that? Just be fun.
I feel like that kind of resonates with the second story, Lifetime Member, quite a bit too, because like that character is slowly dying, and he's surrounded by all the buzz of human noise. It's just like all the people fluttering around him, all the relatives making sure that he's at ease, or even if he says he's at ease, that something has to be done for him. It's just I think that totally relates to that as well.
Yeah, I know. Like our ceremonies are so important to us, the living, or those of us who are going to live indefinitely. The ceremonies are all for our sake, and then the dying person sort of just has to put up with it.
Yeah, it's
but you know,
more our coping rituals.
Yeah, exactly. And to subject them to it is extremely selfish because I've not had any health scare remotely near to death, right? But I imagine that once it's given to you, a man in a white coat says like, yeah, like you're half on the edge of something here. Like, how could you not think of anything but? Like, you may say, oh, death is death, and I'm sure you're probably getting there in terms of coping with it. But your every waking thought, I expect, would probably be like, what the fuck is it like to die? Holy
Yeah.
fuck, you know? And then everyone's like trying to be, they want you to take pictures and stuff.
So,
Yeah.
like, I guess it's like a personal question, not really, but like hypothetical. So, if like you had a doctor that was like, "Yo, you have lung cancer," would you like just keep smoking anyway at 70? Because like, fuck it, I'm dying anyway.
Easily.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
That
I would. Yeah.
There's some people
I
who
can't
like,
stop drinking beer, and I'll drink beer forever. That's an unfortunate fact. Like I try to mitigate it. I try to drink it, once, only one beer a night or whatever. But I mean, I just smash beers basically. So like that's gonna catch up with me, I suppose.
yeah, because there's some people who like try to like save their old ones. They're like, yeah, stop drinking now that you're 70. It's like it's kind of weird because like
I know. Yeah.
you almost draw them out into a funk, and then like they don't know what to do with their lives anymore. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know. And like so much of their like yeah, my old granddad used to he drank heaps of beer, but it was like pretty central to him. Like that's kind of all of his rituals and habits and personalities. Whatever you may, if you're not like, if you yourself are not captured by some sort of substance, then it may on the outside seem sad, but he was in many ways defined by his habit of drinking beer, and for the most part, that was a sort of jolly activity that he enjoyed taking part in, and it meant that he was great to be around. So
Yeah,
whatever that things come at a cost, and if that comes at the cost of so many years of your life, well, that's I mean, if the person's okay choosing that, that's okay.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, because it's the age-old question of why are we living? Like this the whole you're gonna
Yeah,
die anyway.
exactly. For sure. Yeah.
And the purposes of it. I was curious. I mean, we may never know for sure. Skeleton Key moment. Maybe I'm wrong, but it felt like to me after the ceremony at the lifetime membership. Like, did he die in the car? Like, because that's what it kind of felt like.
No, I don't think so. I think
Okay,
he may as well have, because he's going to die in the next
that's
couple of months
true.
anyway. So pretty
Mhm.
much, yeah.
Yeah, but it did give that feeling where it's like, oh, now we're dead. But yeah, it could be taken either way for sure. You know. So that was just like the
Well, yeah. Hey, look, I'll
existentialism.
never say. It's up to
Yeah,
you to interpret.
it's up to me to interpret.
I like the weird sort of unspoken dread underlying all of those rituals being carried out, where it's like no one can say the thing out loud, like why the ritual's going on or like why we're celebrating or doing this thing, but it's obvious, and so it's like this present thing that no one wants to completely confront or address, but they're just like performing this thing. Yeah, I just thought the way that you captured that was
Yeah.
was just
That's
so
not
beautiful.
just the story. Probably doesn't. In fact, it doesn't. I think it's like more broadly. I think it's like I've had like when you visit relatives for any reason, it's naturally, whether you've known them your whole life or not, there's always like a little bit of awkwardness. You naturally have to make small talk with anyone that you haven't seen for a while. So maybe you visit your grandmother or you visit your uncle or something like that, and like you're like, oh, how you going? What have you been up to? I mean, I don't know. I've had the experience with dying relatives who meant a lot to me, an incredible amount to me, who I'd not seen for over a year, and then we're there in hospital, and like he's in a bed and he's like sort of asking me how I'm going, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing all right, and it's like we still, unfortunately, there was like a sense of awkwardness still which is natural and would be natural with anyone, whether they're living or dying. But even as you get close to death, you're still making small talk with people. You're still not able, no one's breaking down crying and confessing how much they love each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's real. That's so true.
There's still like the strange social
Yeah,
etiquette and
That's
niceties.
right. Yeah. So when I thought Cringe was going to ask before if you were told you have a year to live, what would you do? And I mean, this is the yarn's been had a million times, but like probably not much. You wouldn't do much differently. Like when you're alive, you do what you do, and like I don't know if you're just gonna, you have got a year left to live, so I'm going to take up mountain biking or whatever. Like you probably wouldn't. You just do whatever you normally do.
Yeah, that seems the most natural thing, that you wouldn't like have this this movie, moment where you just like cross off everything on your bucket list or some shit.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
like,
the bucket list with Morgan Freeman. Great film.
right. Or
She wouldn't do it.
This will sound gay, but that Queen Latifah movie, Last Holiday, she finds out she's gonna die, and then just like blows all her money doing all this stupid shit.
2006 film. Wow.
Yeah.
Deep cut. A humble department store assistant who is told that she has a rare brain condition and only a few weeks to live decides to spend her remaining funds on a luxury holiday in Europe before she dies. Wow, sounds like a great film. Reception.
Don't
What was it?
Is it
56%.
Not a recommendation.
That's not bad. 56 on Rotten Tomatoes.
No,
If you like sassy black, Queen Latifah.
I do, man. Yeah, I do. I love Queen Latifah. She's funny.
Well, you get to see her skiing down a mountain in all its hilarity. So,
right.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, no, but I would just want to say it's quite interesting in the way, like, as you said, like, the whole idea of bucket lists, like, America is very, I don't know if it's just America, but the whole world, like, the idea of saving up for retirement is almost kind of retarded in the fact that,
yeah, I know.
like, what are you talking about? What are you doing when you're 60, dude? Like, you're practically dead at that point. And it feels like people are kind of inversed, where, like, the most productive times of your life you're spent, like, working at some random ass company, and then when that would be like the most prime time for you to like do anything, you know?
Yeah,
But
for sure.
there's so much focus on retirement. How do we make it by the time we're like 60 or 70? It's a weird inversion.
Yeah,
of how
don't
society
like.
sees
Do you
itself.
like? Yeah. No, I know. And like, I'm not exactly. Because by the way, if you did when we inevitably get to that age and it's time to retire, and if you actually don't have all that money, you'll be pretty pissed. You're like, oh fuck, wish I saved all that money. Because like the only thing that matters to you is what's happening while you're alive, right in that very moment. So, which is the exact argument for why you should live your life now instead of planning for the future. But if you do get to the future and you have nothing, you'll be like, fuck, and everyone around you is rich because they spent their whole whatever. That's like, it's all. But because I have that thought all the time. I'm like, you should be living for today. Holy Christ. But then I'm like, yeah, but all my friends will be really rich. I mean, hopefully they all die before me, so it won't matter.
But didn't put away my nuts for winter.
It's so interesting too, though, because like if you think about like Steve Jobs, that dude had like $1 bazillion, and like bro died at like what 50 or some shit.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's almost like a crapshoot. Like you don't even know, like when you're gonna go, stuff like that. He died at 56, dude. That's just crazy.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Crapshoot.
Yeah.
So it's like,
die of an
aneurysm. I'm sorry, you saying?
No, I was just saying, yeah, you just die of an aneurysm tomorrow. Leave you with this podcast by yourself.
I wouldn't work, bro. I've already tried making podcasts by myself. No, it would shut down like a minute. Oh, it's King Cringe again by himself.
What happened to the dynamic duo?
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about fish batter stain.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What? What the
Personal
fuck, bro?
favorite of mine. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow. Dude. Okay. What a wow. You know, the ending to that really that was like that was so fucking bleak, man. That was really like I that that's how I would end one of my stories. That was just so fucking just the most beautiful bleak little cherry on top that just said so much. And just yeah, dude, what a could you please kind of go into the whole reason behind why you wrote this and where it came from and all?
Yeah, man. Like, I like my story. Like, we hang out with all the same guys, right? But like, I can't actually call my work like political. Like, nothing that I write is political necessarily. So I love the Chuds, and like I'm a Chud myself, and we all hang out and we get along. But ultimately, like, it's fairly apolitical at the end. It's and like like John Updike, for example, like um, if there's nothing political about John Updike's work either, but he writes about men from the working class who look at women and they say, man, she's got big tits. The characters are like half racist now and again, and if a woman's being a bitch, he's like, she's such a cunt. Like that's how he writes. There's nothing political about it, but there's an obvious masculine edge to it that is just based, and that's kind of like what I get at too. But like, I love men, bro, and like I'm not, and what annoys me though is that there are these men who are like masculinity coaches, but in like the gayest way possible, where they're like trying to teach men how to not be toxic,
What?
But so that's annoying, and I hate that. But still, I do think it's fair enough to criticize men now and again, because sometimes you got to get your shit together. And like, when a man's sexual insecurity takes a hold of him, he becomes like a totally irrational, untrustworthy actor. When a man has been humiliated, when he feels sexually impotent or sexually embarrassed or humiliated, he will do and say extreme things. Be careful of that man. And if he's your friend, you should tell him to, like, I don't know, fucking take a Viagra and get a good fuck in so he can feel better about himself, So yeah, this is like, the story is like about the man who's suffering with an extreme sexual insecurity that appears to manifest through his disabled son. And although his wife probably is a bit of a whore, I think she is. Like, I think she is, but I think, or not a whore, she's not, but she's harboring, she's probably harboring some feelings about, this stupid dickhead he can't even produce a load worth anything. She probably does think that about him, but like, he's making up, I think, a lot of what she is what he thinks she thinks about him. So, and because he thinks she's thinking that, he's like, well, you know what, I'm going to think this about you. And he's just festering because he can't fuck.
Yeah, it was like the eugenics discussion of like, wait, how much % sperm did she give to my disabled son?
Yeah.
And they're just fantasizing about any possible escape from their current situation.
Yeah,
even if that means that the other person was possibly unfaithful or just like a horrible person, it's just like it doesn't matter because I'm in such a hell. I'm so emasculated and cucked in my day-to-day that I would be okay if you were literally fucking cheating on me.
Yeah, for sure. But sorry, my wife just scared the fuck out of me. Jesus Christ.
Are you insecure now, bro? Did something?
Yeah, I'm talking here. I'm like, just fuck. Meanwhile, she's like right behind me. She's scared the shit out of me.
Left the room all of a sudden.
Yeah. God. I feel so bad for parents of disabled children, especially extremely disabled children.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's a massive undertaking, and I have no doubt that they love them, and like, so they should. They're your child, and I'm not I'm not hostile or I'm not trying to be mean to profoundly disabled children, but they are obviously an extreme burden, and I can't imagine that it would feel great for too much of the time. And he loves this. He does love his son, of course,
Yeah.
like he's meant to. So yeah. No, I think like there's a lot like that slippery slope of when you're like she's a bitch and like she thinks this about you'll just permit yourself. It's the permission that's the problem. That's the problem, is the permission men give themselves. If they feel sufficiently slighted or like or if they feel inadequate enough, they will start like telling themselves like, yeah, she is a bitch and fuck her. I'm allowed to think that. And it's like you can get carried away with that. So you got to sort yourself out,
No.
Yeah, you start thinking that you deserve more. And
Yeah.
this
That's
isn't
it.
the
I mean,
life you deserve.
deserving anything, ever the feeling of entitlement in any way, forget men or women in this case, but like that sense of like I deserve. I mean that it's like you'd be better off remembering all the time that you deserve nothing. That'll be helpful.
Oh my god, what a banger thing! That was a banger line. I'll just
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's clip that onto TikTok.
It's time to start a TikTok, Jack.
Yeah, because it really does bring into focus. I mean, if you think about this even history now, like imagine if you were like one of the kids that just got shot in like the school shooting of the trans person. It's like I guess you can like bitch about like not getting pussy or something, but like some kid just got like zeroed out in like some kind of
Yeah, man.
CI,
Yeah, I know. For sure. Yeah.
You just gotta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You gotta be.
And
Gotta be
like at the
careful.
yeah. No, I'm not gonna. I've thrown that key into the ocean. The key's gone. I'll say no more.
No, I thought that it was very well portrayed that it is it can be a both an intense struggle, borderline living nightmare, but also he like they have each other, like that's his person, so there is a lot of love there as well. Strangely, in all that bleakness, I think that
Yeah. I'm pleased
there is
because
that.
my biggest concern was that it was mean spirited towards Wayne, the kid. Like I don't actually want to be mean spirited.
I didn't feel that way at all.
No, like I think it perfectly captured like like as you said, like it's not good, like the mundanity of having to live like it's like, oh, your kid's disabled, like that, like, but it's like extreme burden, and like the whole time you're like, oh damn, like it just like this kid is never gonna grow up in a real
Yeah.
sense, and it's
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I feel it all the time when I see families like that in public. I feel like so sad, and I even feel bad because I'm like, that family is probably aiming in their life to feel as much optimism as possible, and then I'm like walking along, and I'm like, oh fuck, look at that. That looks like shit. Like that's my first thought, and like I'm it is a sympathetic thought, but it's pretty harsh as well. I'm like,
Right.
good Christ, So yeah.
You can't help but be like, holy
Yeah.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
Wow, look at them trooping along. But
Yeah.
but it is like, yeah. Oh my god, I get that. It is also a little bit of the girl who sees the old people and goes, that's so sad.
Yeah.
But it's like they're just like old, they're just like eating lunch.
I know. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I've done that,
I'll say this is like an extreme random aside, but I wouldn't say maybe that I'm like a what is it, like a germaphobe, but when the guy like just wiped shit onto the couch instead of washing his hands, I was like, really, bro? Like just personal
Yeah.
personal views. Just wash your hands, bro. Like what the fuck?
It's true. But I picked that up from because I changed my daughter so often, or I have at least in the last 2.5 years, and not that I don't wipe shit on my own furniture, but my I'm extremely candid about shit getting on me, in a way that I wasn't,
Yeah, no, but it does speak to the realism. Obviously, it's a well written part, but
Yeah, well,
personal.
that's the thing. I've been changing my daughter for 2 years, and I'm like half okay when shit gets on my wrist. I'm like, oh, whatever. Imagine you had to change your kid for like close to 15 years. I mean, fuck, you'd just be like sucking it off your fingers at a certain point. You don't care anymore.
Damn, that's
I'm
true.
just being
Your
gross. I'm
dad
just being
mocking
gross.
me, your life mocking me. I don't have kids yet. It's like, oh yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, you didn't
Don't,
know
yeah,
you.
exactly. Don't talk about shit. You don't know. You don't know, cringe.
It's true.
Yeah, it just seemed very honest to me. I mean, it just seemed like a very human thing to do. You don't want to get up and wash your hands. It's like that mixed with, you've seen people, out of the corner of your eye, like, they'll pick their nose and maybe like
For
wipe
sure.
it on their
Yeah, yeah,
jeans or
yeah, yeah,
on the
yeah.
fucking couch or something. It's just like just like the human mundanity of, like, simple things like that, yeah, mixed with the thematic spite. I just thought was just honest and just real and funny, honestly. But yeah, but also, yeah, those descriptions of shit were so visceral and really put you in that position yeah. I was transported to cleaning shit off a retarded
Yeah, I
kid.
mean, imagine changing a teenager. Imagine having to change a teenager and because they've shat their pants.
Yeah, my coworker, that's his situation currently. He's like in his 40. He's like a 40-year-old wigger, and he's got a kid with Down syndrome, and he's every other day he's like coming into work telling
Yeah,
us some massive struggle, some situation. Oh, I got to take him to here, and then this fucking happened, and I'm at home doing this. And yeah, it's a lot, you can tell, but it's not like the guy fucking hates his kid or something. He loves him to pieces. Obviously, it's just a
yes,
struggle.
yes, yes. No, for sure.
um so happy wife, happy life. Is this just like an essay, I guess? It's not
Uh,
really like fiction, is it? Like,
no, yeah,
what is
it's a little bit like it's my one and only and incredibly short homage to Henry Miller, who I have in my past attempted to write like and failed. And in this case, I was like, whatever. I'm not going to do that anymore. It's clearly not my style, and I should stop. But I love Henry Miller. He's such a legend. And his stories are like, there's no difference between memoir and fiction for Miller. Like, they're the same. They are one and the same. Every character, maybe not in all of his novels, but just about every character Miller writes about is himself, and blatantly and outwardly. You could call Tropic of Capricorn a memoir, but it's a novel.
Mhm.
But whatever, he plays a lot with imagery. He just lets imagery speak for itself. Miller will just stack image upon image upon image, and never link them exactly. Not specifically in the text. Not with the prose. There's no one-to-one link line by line in Miller's prose in the way that you can get even in like something complicated like Gaddis, whatever. Gaddis is hard to read, but if you're paying close enough attention, I mean, you'll get what he's saying. Miller, if you don't get the vibe, then you don't get what he's saying. So whatever, I figured I'd write some sort of memoir about what it means to love a woman when she's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it just like that was the one where I felt like, oh, is he just actually just speaking truthfully to his own experience? I mean, the whole book it felt like you were speaking to a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah,
personal
yeah.
truths or whatever. But that in particular, I was just like, oh, is he just talking about what it's like to be a father now and to be a husband and all this stuff?
Yeah, I was talking about my old ball and chain, the old bitch.
Yeah, it was so tender. It was so
Yeah.
beautifully written, the way it was just so perceptive, the way you view men and women, and how and how they respond to each other, and how they need each other, and how they work together in certain ways.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's right. No, that's right. I figured, I did figure that, like, in particular, where women ask so much of men, and I think they do. Like women are always like they have these fantasies. They want to be swept off their feet all the time, and like your average man is not going to be able to do that. Like he's thinking about fucking he's like watching Dragon Ball Z on YouTube or something like that. He's doing something stupid, right? Like, that's just like frivolous and not romantic whatsoever. But it's actually fair, I think, of the women to ask for those grandiose fantasies. The women would actually do them. They would actually go like it's like what's the treat others the way you would be treated, and that's meant to be like don't hit someone or don't be rude to someone because you wouldn't like that. I often find, at least in my case, like that phrase, treat others the way you would be treated, like my wife asks so much of me because she actually does a lot for me. So it's kind of fair for her to ask as much as she asks, if you know what I mean. Like she does, she's often like, she does wish for a lot more from me. And I'll be like, fuck, give me a break. But then as it turns out, she's actually doing a lot for me in the first place. So she's entitled to ask for that much. And I think that's probably true of a lot of women. Most men want to go down to the pub and fuck around because that's what they want to do. And why wouldn't you? I mean, it's extremely fun. But like half the time, if they've got a good wife, like, and not every girl's great, don't get me wrong. But half the time his missus is probably doing a lot for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Is this like your response to like, because we run in like red pill spaces. You're like, oh, your wife's just longhousing you. You can't let her tell you do what you want. And they have all the fucking rah rah. I don't know how many of them have actual.
No, I agree. I think for sure. It's half true. It's basically all true still. Like your wife does want to sort of pin you down and like domesticate you, and that's both okay and not. And if you let her do it too much, then like you will turn into like kind of a soft little loser. Like it's like that's true. There are natural, but there's just a push and pull that's natural. And if you're a man, you should be aware of that, and you should retain your independence and your masculinity. But you can't blame her for wanting that from you. So yeah, like I'm a huge chud. Don't get me wrong, but you got to cut her a break.
Yeah.
Women, bro. I mean, they can't help it. We are who we are, men and women.
No, you make a very great argument for why it's important. It's important and it's beautiful and necessary sometimes to give yourself over to another person, especially a woman, and how when you do that, you can create beautiful foundations.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think it's like, as you said, like maybe you're being longhouse, whatever, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like you're not Superman, you're not Henry Cavill or whatever the fuck. Like you're just a dude,
Yeah.
You're just
for sure.
And I feel like a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, just follow my course and you can just dominate women. It's like, I don't think that's how it works, bro.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You can't just transform people into like mega alpha chat with like 3 weeks of your course, bro. I don't think that's how life is.
Like you could be like, I am longhoused. I would say that definitionally, but like, it's still not. Still, I'm the central. Like I'm not saying this like I am still fortunate enough that a lot of what we do centers around me still, right?
Yeah.
Like my preferences are honored more, my desires are honored more, and so yeah, like being longhouse, you don't have to give yourself up and just fucking, I don't know, whatever. You don't have to spend all your ambitions and let go of them. It's okay. You could still, isn't a longhouse like a Viking house? Isn't that what it is? And I assume that the fucking head Viking still sat on like a throne of some kind, so you can you can be like the king in your own. Okay, whatever. I retract that.
No,
But,
you can retain your manhood. But still, but still be sensitive in ways and embracing love.
You can still be a Viking. I'm a Viking.
Right. Those things can be simultaneous.
What I'm just saying is that like the internet likes to over exaggerate, and like, it's like
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
watching your own
exactly.
movie when
Yeah,
like they try to.
yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
people need to be like more realistic about like what's possible, and no one's saying like, oh, just bow to your woman all the time, but it's like, people like real life is completely different from whatever course some dude is selling on the internet.
And that's like Henry Miller is like Henry Miller is this wonderful force of self-service. Like he, at the age of 39, 38, figured he was like, you know what, I'm like stifled. I've got this shit job. I've got kids and a wife, and I was meant to be a writer, but I'm not. So he leaves and runs away to France. He abandons his job. He abandons his family. And okay, that's I play I don't judge people. So that's what he does because he's like this ferocious, fiery guy that like wanted more from life. But then he writes about women all through Tropic of Capricorn, all through the Sexist trilogy, and like effectively, what he is he will talk about women. He objectifies them uh, with ease, haphazardly. He's like, yeah, this sexy little piece came in, and before I knew it, we were fucking in the back, and I was fucking her, and my dick felt numb, and he's just like going crazy. And he just talks about all the women. He basically fucks and chucks like 12 women, and he'll just write about it, right? But every single one of those women, he's like, she was a beautiful girl. She was so sweet. Her father did this. She grew up here, and she was so nice, and he's so charitable towards them. He's so like forgiving towards them. And meanwhile, he's like, yeah, this slut, I fucked her, so he's both. Like he's like extremely harsh, but there isn't a single woman he's not like sensitive to or doesn't remember fondly, even when he's talking about like dicking her down in the bathroom. And he's always like, she was hollering, she was screaming like an idiot. He's just got this like it sounds insane. If you haven't read Miller, it sounds insane, but in context, it's very poetic and
yeah, really great pornographic sort of writing. Fused with that.
Yes, yes, that's what it is. Pornographic. It's really pornographic, but he's they retain he gives them their character and their dignity still.
He's a feminist.
Yeah, he fucking is, man. He honestly is. Even with all of it, he's a fucking feminist. And I don't know. I'm whatever. It's whatever.
Oh, I got a quick question. This will probably not be true, but just circling back to the final say. So I noticed that the guy is named Bart, and then in Hugenden, there's also like a little person, not a little person, but teenager also named Bart. I'm guessing they're not the same person, but I was just wondering if they were like that was like Hugenden is like.
No, yeah,
Bart
they're not. I thought I'd use the same names. Like I like they're not the same character, but they probably would be in a thematic sense. I think. Like I like names to crisscross over stories.
Okay.
Like I think there's a 2 or 3 characters named Douglas, and none of them are the same character, but they are the same person.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed that because I only saw Bart, so I was like, "Oh, is Bart the same person?" But I guess there was like others that were like shadowed up that like my mind just overwrote.
I think it might actually be the name Doug that you're thinking of in Hewenden.
Yeah, because that's like the cousin's name or something like that. Would you carry over those same names into your other works, or did you just want this one piece to to kind of recycle some of the similar names or whatever?
No, I think it definitely ends here. Like I think I'm trying to write a novel at the moment, which is like for a short story cuck, it's a major undertaking, and so I'm trying to like really evolve beyond this. I love this set of stories, but I'm hoping that I'll one day think it sucks. For the time being, I think it's a good collection, but if I can get better in this novel, then perhaps I'll sneer at Sleep Capricorn soon. So yeah, all these guys, all these losers are gonna stay put in this book.
No, I mean it happens. because I read Hate Spree 2 while
Yeah, I
like,
heard you. I heard you
and
in the last episode.
I was like, yo, and like the worst thing is like, so I'm gonna do the manuscript for 1 now, and I'm kind of dreading it. I'm like, I didn't think, oh man, is this gonna be like a 3 out of 5 now? Just looking back, and I'm gonna have to convince people to buy this. No, I'm not gonna do that. But it's like I don't even think it's that good anymore, probably. So, like, it happens.
No, dude, don't say that.
It's just get older.
I think you're right though, because I was literally like an hour before we even jumped on this. I was listening to this one author. I was like just it was like a playlist. It was just like playing author interviews, and this one guy. I'll have to link it in the chat because I forget which guy it was. But he was saying something that like the natural progression is definitely to think it's shit eventually, like to
Yeah.
move past it. And if you continue to think that it's like really good or like perfect or where it needed to be or something, then you're probably more of an amateur than an actual writer or something, is what
Move
he
on,
was
hey.
saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
I say this merely as as an anxious, squeamish guest who's honored to be on the Subverted Subversions podcast. I don't want to take up. Should we move on? Should we discuss authenticity as a concept, as its
Well,
conflict with AI?
I just had like 2 questions really left. The
Yes,
first one
yes.
is the first one is simple. So I think for Adonis, at the guy, does he die at the end while like getting chased by like his rad dreams, or is that just also
No, he
yeah?
doesn't. No,
He
no,
just gets
definitely.
anxious. He's just so sleepy.
yeah, he experiences what you might call a mild sense of anxiety. No,
He
he
just
doesn't
pisses
die.
his
Yeah.
pants. I take things to the extreme. I'm like, is this guy dead? Because it's just like they just explain like
Everyone dies. They all die.
The whole book's about
Yeah.
death. He's definitely
Yeah.
dead.
So I was like, oh, the old people are dying, so that must mean these guys are also dead after having like panic attacks, right? Like, no. And yeah, okay, awesome. Skeleton key obtained. But I just wanted to mention that I thought Townsville was kind of the perfect ending story for the whole
Yeah, I
collection.
wanted to talk a little about Townsville for a sec too.
Yeah, because
No, for sure. Thanks. I hoped it would be. Yeah.
it talks about like like all of these are personal stories, but like Townsville takes it to like Australia as like an entity, as a being. And I thought that was like really cool how you approach that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Townsville
like
is a real town.
it's a real town.
I mean,
Yeah,
most of these
sorry,
were real
LARKINS.
towns.
Yeah.
Most of these were real towns, like Hugenden and all the
Oh, yeah,
towns
they all are.
listed.
Yeah, true.
So I was looking this up. So was it actually flooded?
Oh, it floods all the time. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, I didn't know this. But yeah,
What
yeah, go Jesse.
sorry, go ahead, Ken.
No, I didn't have. I was just gonna say stuff.
I was just gonna say that the perspective of the story being like from it's like, yeah, it technically probably is just like a solitary person, but it's communicated as a we, as like this happened to us, and like the community itself is the central character of the story. In the way you kind of achieve that is through by constantly referring to us and we, and and building that narrative through like sensory details and stuff. So I was curious how you came to that that POV for the story, and why you chose to tell it that way.
Yeah, that was the easiest way to get that story going. For one reason or another, I found a certain voice where where we and us was working. That's how the story started. A lot with that. Actually, it originally had more intersplices of the I character coming in now and again, referring to himself. But Lucas from Bonfire Books, my editor, he said like the power of the story is in the we perspective, and actually the I character will seem more will gain more importance if he's saved until last. So I did a lot of work on the story to fix the perspective to really suit the we, to then hand it over to the I in the end.
Yo, your editor's a fucking genius. He's right. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bro,
No,
yeah.
for sure. Great point. No, definitely. That's
Great
the thing.
call.
Yeah. People's, if you like, when it comes to like do you self-publish or do you go with a small publisher? And it's like, well, what's, if you've got the drive, you could self-publish and do it yourself. But the process of editing is like really, really fun, and when you have a legitimate editor, it's also really good as well. So yeah, no, Lucas, what a legend.
sure.
Yeah, what was the process of editing this fucking thing? As far as like before you sent it to Bonfire, and then after they decided they wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, before you send it, I mean, this is like for any young writers out there, you should edit it. You should edit it like 12 times, bro. You should rewrite it. Rewrite your story more than once. So every single one of these stories I rewrote word for word. Dual monitors. You put your old story on the left monitor, and you put your new story on the right monitor, and you write it out again, word for word, sentence by sentence, and like you will, it just gets so much better because you're like on such a granular level. You're editing just shitty phrases, typos. You're adding more as you go. You get creative as you go, and you add more. The story gets more layered and dense. So I edited like 12 times before I sent it off to publishers. And then when Bonfire and Lucas went through it, he read through the entire thing and made upwards of like 80 notes. And then we jumped on the phone on a call here, and we went through it together and discussed whether that change was good or was better or worse. And some of them, like I just said, like, I don't know, you're missing the point. And then he saw the point, so he kept it as it was. But other things, he just made he had great contributions.
Yeah, no, sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
The ending of
great
Beg Love, Beg Boredom. The ending is revised. I mean, you guys know that actually. I had to send you the old copy. So.
Oh, that's right. I never read
revised
the
the
original part.
Yeah, don't, because I mean I was agonizing over that because you guys had the older copy, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh man, like the new ending is so much better. I couldn't even imagine someone reading the old ending. So I'm pleased that you didn't.
What I mean, can we talk about the old ending real quick, or do you not even want to mention it?
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Okay,
That's fine.
Before we do, I would just like to say, shout out to the Townsville bolding at the end. I dug that. I think that's the only bolded word in the story, right? I'm a stickler for formatting, so that was hype.
Pardon me.
What
Townsville, what, sorry?
The bold. I think it's the only word that's
bold.
bold.
Yeah.
Based.
Yeah. No, I like the use of bold. Hey, I've used it a couple I've got this novel on the go, and you can't use it too often. I think you really want it to stand out very rarely. But yeah, I do love putting random words in bold for a special effect.
No, for sure. But yeah, Jesse, you were saying about the ending for Big Love, the uncorrected version.
Yeah. What was the original ending for Beg Love, Beg Boredom?
The original, there were two endings. Like they're the same ending, really. They really are the same ending. It's just that like it's hard to end that, because the ending of Beg Love, Beg Boredom is meant to sit on a note of like ambivalence, ambiguity, and kind of like it's meant to be sort of like a shoulder shrug. Like even like it's like, well, even his mother is kind of like saying to him, sort of, we all die. It's not a big deal. You sort of need to get over it. It's okay. And so executing that ambivalence was very difficult. And the first two iterations, they were just shit. They just weren't good. They just weren't written very well. So I just had to revise it. Nothing really changed about the story, but I had to revise the prose to really get to execute the effect of ambivalence.
Was it something in the dialogue specifically, or was it more just
I
just
think it was
everything about it,
it
or
was rushed. It was rushed. The ending breath of the story, the first two times was rushing to the punch, and there's no real even now there's no real punch exactly, but there's like a the breath is long enough, and then it kind of tapers off.
I think you're
He
right.
was trying to. I think he was trying to hit this note of poignancy too fast.
okay.
When I first read, I think I read the uncorrected version, and then I read the new version, and I was like, there's actually nothing that's different, but it does read better, and I felt like yeah,
Yeah.
it hits.
But the first one before there was I can't even remember it, to be honest, because I've rewritten it so many times. Before the ending that you got in the first PDF that I revised again, there was another one before that as well. That was not great. Oh, it's the one that was published with Man's World, so it's already up. It's been published.
Get the
The
details
first
on Man's
shitty
World.
ending is on Man's World.
Oh, how did you get hooked up with Man's World?
I just subbed it into the inbox.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. There's a general submissions email that you send it to, and Ren, he presumably, I mean, it's signed his name. He's the one who edits it and puts it up.
Are you gonna submit more to them in the future, or do you have like a current relationship with them or anything like that?
Ren kindly provided a blurb for the book.
Oh, right on.
And he's extremely friendly and polite to me over via email when we correspond. But that's the extent of it. And I don't know if I'll put anything up else necessarily on Man's World at the moment, because the only thing I'm writing is this novel. So I'm sort of stuck on. I mean, people put excerpts up and stuff like that, but it's just the first draft. It'll be ages, probably a year or two before I have anything.
All right. Well, you know what would be faster is if you used AI, which
I should put what I've got right now into AI.
For you.
Yeah, it's a handy 40K. I'll say, analyze this 40K and just
Yeah.
extrapolate, please. Give me a novel.
But yeah, we should talk about authenticity, right? You wrote the article for Unreal Press.
Yes. The authenticity anchor is the article I wrote for the Unreal Press, and it's related to AI. It's related to a bunch of yarns. I was a little bit captivated by the idea, and I was really keen to see when the Slop Kings, the guys that took his mag, threw up their episode on authenticity, because it's been bandied around the term in our in our writers circles about what makes something like authentic. And I was G'd up by the topic because, like, I do it while I'm working. I'll throw on like 4-hour A Song of Ice and Fire lore videos where some person dissects the lore of a Song of Ice and Fire. And, like, by the way, the lore of that series isn't even that great, but there's something about it. There is something intangible about that world that convinces you that it's real, that it's an actual real place.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, if you open up any sort of fantasy book and you start reading, it's like gay from the first page. You're like, this is bullshit. It's just not
Orc
real.
City,
like, you just don't.
Yeah.
In Orkland.
Yeah, no, that's right. Orc City. Yeah, for sure, right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so whether or not AI, because like that, by the way, Cringe, I did that test.
Okay.
I voted for the AI one, the best one.
Really?
I thought they were all shit. I thought they all sucked, to be honest. But the best one was number 5,
Okay.
and it was AI, and I was like, good God, man, that sucks.
Mhm.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah. So whether AI can capture that, but yeah, I don't yeah, authenticity is it's such. I mean, it's just so interesting to me, because I have that experience where, like, if I am not immediately convinced of like a world's veracity the moment I start to read something, then I can't read it.
Well, actually, going back, so I took the test. Like, it's been it's been around the scene. Like it's from like Mark Lawrence or something, and it was like
Yeah,
on
part 2 from
a,
like, and the part 1 was 5 years ago. I saw on the blog.
yeah, it's like AI Central and other. Well, that's where I first saw it. Well, like, this place called AI Central that talks about stuff from like this guy I follow called Fox Day. He's pretty smart, but when I did the test, I found it really interesting because people were like, "Oh, this is the end. Like AI is going to take us over." And when I took the test, I couldn't tell the difference. It was like 50-50. It was like half of them were like, I guess, wrong. But when I scored for points, what I found was that I actually liked the two human ones the best. Or let me rephrase. I found the two male ones that were just written by dudes the best.
Yeah, yeah.
The AI was like mid, and I found the female writers the fucking worst.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I know.
So like
But
people are
that,
like, is AI better? It's like, well, are you sure? Like, it's not the females who just suck.
and as well, they're trying to get they. I mean, presumably they're fantasy writers, the females, but they're
Yeah,
doing this flash fiction sample of all these flash fiction pieces in a world of like demons or something like that, and like all
yeah,
the stories are about like edgy demons, and I was like, well, the women aren't gonna. That's obviously gonna suck. Like, you,
yeah,
you know, yeah, you can't. Sorry, but edgy demons is that's a male landscape. Um, so, but I also thought it handicapped the human writers anyway for having like even the guy was coping. He's like, oh, it's flash fiction. You know,
yeah,
this just keep bear in mind these authors don't usually write flash fiction, and AI is great at flash fiction. I'm like, wow, okay, so it seems natural that AI might come out on top.
yeah. Well, I just like, at least for me, for my personal taste, like I was just like, I feel like, and I just felt like the general population doesn't have that good of a taste. Like that's what I felt. Like, and what I feel like, I think AI is inevitable at this point. I'm quite bullish on it, but I just think that there's no, like, it's not like a magic band-aid. What we're gonna have is we're just gonna have a bunch of slop written by mid fuckers, but like, if you're talented and you like know what you're doing, then if you use AI, it's just gonna like, you're just gonna be on top, or it's just like using a computer basically. um I just don't see any reason for like people who are actually talented art to be scared of AI in the sense that it's going to take over your jobs, because people who are untalented just make mid shit anyway. Like
Yeah, yeah, I know.
it's just like irrelevant
Yeah,
to me.
definitely. And like I have virtually given it no thought. Like I it's not I mean you spend I don't know, I guess it's I guess I understand, but if you, like many of us, have spent the last 10 to 15 years writing because it's an endeavor, it's a pursuit of yours,
Yeah,
uh, I mean, I don't really care about AI. Like, it's not about like it's so embedded now in terms of it's a pursuit that I've am for better or worse, like rather committed to. Um, I mean, it doesn't really whatever AI ends up doing, it doesn't really matter.
yeah. I guess there's like two types of artists. There's like the artist who's there for the process, and I completely understand that. I'm more of an artist, I think, for like the end game, in the sense that, so if you didn't know, like the hate spree one images, like the really cool ones that are like full pose, each one of those images took like a month. And like if you're
Yeah.
if you're doing like the math calculations, like, oh, I'm not making a living off of this, because theoretically, if I didn't have like a day job or something, it would maybe take 2 weeks or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
But that's still like, if you're doing the math, that's like what, 48 paintings that you can do, and it's just like, just doing the math. It's not mathing out, essentially, and especially like if it's taking a month, and that means 12 paintings a year. That's not fast enough in my opinion, and like, if there's any way I can just like produce faster, like, I just need that, like, especially for people with day jobs, like, you know doing more, theoretically, but definitely for people who like do it for the process, like, yeah, AI is not going to change how you work. It's
So are you going to use AI to write
yeah,
your
probably.
continuation of Hate Spree? Hmm. And
Yeah,
then what are you going to hand over to it? Plot beats or act
yeah.
like presumably you'll edit even when it regurgitates some prose for you, you will customize that still.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take so I don't know about the text one yet. Because I've dabbled a little bit. I think we tried a little bit on Tukey's. Like it was restrained. Like the biggest problem with AI and why I like kind of find it unusable is the fact that it doesn't go to the places that you need it to. Like it won't write a sex scene that's like extremely raunchy. And I've
Mm.
just looked into it. Like maybe you can download like a local AI or something and run it off of your PC, unrestricted of the companies. Because the problem is the companies, they all have restrictions on what you
Mm,
can write or what you
mm,
can't
mm.
write. So that's the real issue. In terms of like, yeah, you just feed like, because I have like ideas, plot beats, and blah blah blah. And then like the other thing also is because I find in my work that maybe it's true of all authors that you just write in the same voice. And if you like feed it a line and then like tell, okay, AI, tell this to write in on an Australian accent, and then they just, you know, run it over with like extremely accurate dialect, that's gonna help rather than you having to research the dialect and having, for things like that, essentially.
Yes, but that's where it's like that serves your purposes
Yeah.
perfectly as an end game bent artist, as you say. But like for a process oriented artist, it's not of any value because like I
Yeah.
guess the editing process I described before, where you bring up the old piece and you put a new piece in front of you and you edit it word by word to find the voice. It's like that's the whole fun of it. So I
Yeah.
like so in for a person again, myself having a day job as well, so not I mean whatever. If you're a fucking artist and
Yeah.
it's hard to make money. Sorry about that. But anyway, if um, then that's the point. So AI can't serve that because like the whole idea is that I'm finding the voice, but you're trying to supplement that. So that is fine. That's um.
Yeah, it's just
So,
different.
But then, would you use AI to do the drawing, the art as well?
Yeah, so that's the one that I'm most excited for. Um, there's this thing like it's called image to image that I've seen, which it looks incredible in the sense that so basically you have this thing where you can like draw and then you can tell the AI and then it'll basically like you can like select a certain section of the painting and then you tell the AI what the certain section is and then it'll like redo that section of the painting as that thing. So instead of like I see a lot of people they can't get correct prompts or they have one prompt so you're only going to have one image. But if you can paint and like what to place and where, you can essentially using image to image like use a faster way to like get the exact thing that you want or at least a 90% of where you are. And I'm far more bullish on the art aspect than the text aspect. The text aspect I'm not
Mm.
sure yet. Because so
But the art, the
yeah.
cover, for example, for Hatesbury
Yeah.
is like astounding, right? It's incredible, which you did
Is
with no AI,
yeah.
and you to want to do it again.
Oh, I'm sorry, you cut out for a second there. What did you say?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but can you just say the question
Yeah,
again?
no, sure. Sorry. The art of Hatesbury
Yeah.
is like, did you not like? It's incredible. The art
Yeah.
of Hatesbury is so unique in terms of talking about voice in terms of prose. Okay, well, your voice is obviously there in the art spree in the Hatesbury art.
Yeah.
So, did you not enjoy the process of finding that style? And wouldn't AI prevent you from having that experience?
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think so because the most exciting part is the beginning part when you're like when what I found is that at the beginning when you're like, oh, I want this thing with that thing and then we mix that with that. That's like the fun part. When you're doing like the art, so like it was like an interminable process where okay, we're working from grayscale and so like well first of all I build 3D models. So artists like this is going to sound complicated as fuck, but a lot of artists like they use reference, right? there's very few people who can actually draw from imagination. Most of them use reference, and so like they're either using photos. They'll take photos of themselves. That's like a kind of a big thing. They'll take photos of themselves. For me, I build 3D models, and then like I put that on there, and then I overpaint it, and then a lot of it is just like it's tedious detail work in terms of, okay, we need to make sure all the values on this are correct. It's maybe it's just me, bro. Like
No, sure.
I don't actually enjoy the painting part of it because it is just work. Like it is fun like for the first 15 minutes, but then you're like you have to do four of them, and then like it's a lot of detail work, and it's not the exciting creative part where you're like, oh, I
Yeah,
have
you were
this
talking about
foreground.
AI for like the technical purposes,
Yeah,
which like I expect there to be some. Yeah, your creative vision is not compromised by how you complete the technical tasks necessarily.
yeah. So it's basically and also this is how it works in a lot of movies too, where like or
Sure.
like productions where the main guy has like an idea, and then he just tells assistants, okay, you're the guy that does this, you know. It's basically a bunch of
Definitely. I
and like
agree. That's a great way of putting it.
that it's like what I think is going to happen and why this might be the brightest spot of AI is that I think it's going to kill like Indian offshoring because you've essentially got a cheaper Indian now to like do your shit for you, you know. And so like you just hire like an AI for 20 bucks. It'll like draw the thing for you essentially, you know, because again, like a lot of people they just come up with like a style board or something, and then they'll tell other like Indian people this is how you do it, blah 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 blah,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's the actually Indian. So in terms of like big productions, if we want to compete with like left wing, we have to have the what is it, the mass ability to produce at the same level, and that's where I think like AI is gonna like shorten the
Well,
gap.
if that's the case, then what's the holdup with the Hatesbury graphic novel? Huh?
That's what I was thinking. So like it's very possible I might make a graphic novel with AI, but there's
Oh,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
when I did the samples, it was like hand drawn, and I was like, "There's no way." Because again, like it was just something I noticed where I hated drawing the same character over and over. Like, why am I doing this over and
Yeah.
over again?
Yeah.
Like, just get the AI, like get the character in there, and then one of these days. But I think that's a far way off. So it was long. Just do you have actually any opinions on AI and using it and stuff like that from what you saw or
Um,
read from the Black
I
Publication?
well, it's just it feels like and I've probably said this before, but it just feels like although it's constantly advancing, and we'll probably advance to a level that we can't even you know possibly conceive or something, it still seems to need some kind of authorial vision imbued into it. It needs some sort of actual auteur voice in order to like accomplish like any goals, because it's just like this it's just like this thing. It's just like it like its function is it just in order for it to function, you have to put so much of yourself into it, just in general. So even if you are using it to like supplement certain like very minor basic things, it's like it's still you in a way. It's still like in order for you to get anything out of it, you have to put yourself into it. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely curious what the the full AI hates free comic would look like, because it would need your artistic input, obviously, in order for it to function at all. So
But it
um
has the Hatesbury art in particular already has such a demented quality to it that the insane shit or like the really uncanny shit that AI puts out would, I think, really suit the Hatesbury style anyway.
a really good point,
Uh,
actually, too.
I will say it's very possible because this is all me speaking beforehand. People are hyping me up. It may come to the point where I actually try it out and it's dog shit, and I'll come back. It's like it's actually unusable. That's very
Well,
possible.
yeah, and if
Right,
you're
right.
learning how to use AI as a, like, that's a new skill you're learning when you're trying to So it's going to take up some time figuring out
Yeah.
how to use it in the first place.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So it's very questionable because there is the thing like the problem with AI for sure is it's an aggregate of like basically, and again this is the issue is like the general population. It's modeled off of what the general population thinks is the best, and it averages that out. And the problem with that is obviously you get like what everybody likes, and like there's something very annoying with AI already. Um, with how everything looks because it projects what the general population likes. If I was to use AI, and I've seen this, is they like even for images they're called like LARAs, which basically like you like can tell the AI to like draw in this style of this artist, right? So if there's a way that I can like find all my favorite artists and then like okay, this percentage draw like this percent like this artist and then this percentage as that other artist and like build my own curated library of like the artists that I like and not necessarily pulling from the general library of what other people like, then I think that would like kill a lot of the just the boring average look of like a lot of AI art, you know?
Yeah, and isn't that what Midsummer will do if you pay? Is that the... Wait, am I saying it? Is Midsummer the... What's the one?
Mid-Journey, I think.
Midjourney.
Yeah.
If you pay the premium cost, I think you can do that. That's what it lets you do.
Yeah. If I'm not
Yeah,
mis-
but
I
then
don't know. I don't know
yeah, you got to
exactly.
pay.
Yeah, because well, I just don't know if like it gets that deep because the one I was looking at was like OpenAI or something. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm not sure that the ones that you pay for have as much control because the one I was looking at was like you have to download it locally to be able to do a lot of this extra weird
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
where you're building your own data sets rather than I think if you pay to like um Midjourney, they just give you like more tokens, like you can use more of it. But
Oh,
I,
yeah.
but I don't know if they like give you control. And that's what, as an artist, you're always looking for like the control aspect of how to manually. Because if you're just doing it off of like one prompt, I can guarantee you it's gonna look like dog shit. Like,
Can you pirate Midjourney? Can you? Is there like a... I don't know how it works. Does it have to be like online via the server, or can you like download it from the Pirate Bay?
no, that's what I'm saying is that okay. So I don't think you could possibly pirate Midjourney, but I think I think is it open AI that you can that it's open source, so basically it's free. And then
Yeah. Sure.
the writing version is DeepSeek, I think. So there's like DeepSeek is open source, so you can just download it locally, and then I think you can train it possibly off of like your own local data set of like books that you like or stuff like that. I don't know exactly how it works, but like getting the local version, I think is the way for artists to go. If you're not too picky, like I know some people like if you're not like because I'm an artist, so I care about shit like that. But if you're just a writer, it's very possible you can just pay $20 for like Midjourney and then get a prompt, and if it's like close enough, it'll be good enough for your situation. So yeah, yeah, I don't know, but I think you were talking about like authenticity in terms of like the world and
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I am. No, I'm self-consciously trying to bring up general topics so that we don't, because yeah, whatever.
I'm just curious, like,
Yeah,
because
no.
you were talking about a lot. I think one of the things that I was recently watching, like, Joni Ive, who was like he was like the head designer at Apple for a couple years, and he was saying like, as you were saying for the world, like a lot of it is like care. Like people can tell when you put a lot of care into something rather than if you just didn't care about it. Like humans can telephatically know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. Like you said, Orc City, right? That was so funny because it's like you can read that first paragraph and it's like the most surface level figments that this person has just made the story from orcs and elves. But then which it was a great point I think that Dave made in the Slop Kings episode is that Tolkien in The Hobbit, he just calls it Goblin Town. There's not actually any difference. But the that intrinsic level of care has already been given to the world that Goblin Town sounds so authentic, and whereas Orc City is so clearly retarded. And then like, so I made the point, like, there's Chancellor Palpatine.
Yeah.
But I watched the sequels. I was excited for the Star Wars sequels as a kid, or 18, 19, whatever. And yeah, then like the guy, I remember the scene. He comes up on a projector, and the guy's like, "Supreme Leader Snoke," and I was like, "What the fuck? That's just not." I don't
Mhm.
know what to tell you, but that, like, there's nothing. The line it's a fine dialogue line, and that's his name clearly. But I was just like, you're just trying to think of a weird, like half weird, half like name that is meant to conceivably fit in the world, but it sounds like shit, you know. And it's just because there wasn't love there, there wasn't care
Yeah.
there. So it's a kind of a reductive answer, because the question of authenticity, it's like a rather rigorous investigation. It's like, okay, what exactly can we get down to it? What exactly makes worlds feel legitimate versus they feel like a sort of a half, like a shitty piece of fiction from the dollar store? And it's like, well, that takes a lot of technicality. But my my conclusion is like, it's the care factor. But I mean, there are just so many things that seem intrinsic to it. That I thought I was embarking on an essay to just completely BTFO Dave and Gabe, because I was like, they didn't even answer the question. And at the end, I'm like, it all comes down to effort. At the end of the day, you got to love what you're doing. But I mean, I think it's true, man. I think it's true.
Yeah, you because like what you said in the essay, it's like it's kind of ineffable, but you know it when you feel it. Like it's just it's just a sensation that you just understand, like intuitively or something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that comparison you made of oh god, yeah, Snoke to the other guy shows how much of a Star Wars guy I am. It's like, yeah, clearly one is pulling artistically from a root, right, that is very very specific and embedded
Yeah.
in
Yep.
who that person is, and then this is a carbon copy imitation of whatever that original root was. So it's not even pulling from the root. It's like it's pulling from what the root produced. So
Yes. Yeah. Very true. No, that's a great way of putting it. That's so true. It's
and
it's
yeah.
derivative. It fails. Yeah. And that's like one thing I wanted to and I want to look into more is, I don't know if you've seen the No Country for Old Men, the film, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've read the novel.
I haven't read the book, no.
They are the same thing. They're the exact same thing. Not merely that it's a one-to-one adaptation. Like, first of all, like, McCarthy wrote No Country for Old Men as a screenplay, and he found that it was sort of rebuffed by most people. So he said whatever, and he reworked it into a novel, which was
Oh
then
wow.
adapted into a film. So its origin is it's like, just like pragmatically, it's like really suited for an adaptation in the first place. But what is more like, if you have seen, I've said this about nothing. I could only say this about the, if you've seen No Country for Old Men, the film, you don't need to read the book. Not just because you've got the plot, but because every sort of like feeling, every theme, every kind of portentous bit of imagery that McCarthy kind of uses is covered in the film. The film retains the novel's authenticity. It's not just a good adaptation. It is like officially the same thing. The spirit is in both things equally. So that's why the question about authenticity is not exactly the same question about what makes a good adaptation. But there's something about that No Country for Old Men adaptation that has, in its effect, totally captured the authenticity of the novel. So there's something to be explored there, I think.
Where they both kind of achieve the same
They achieve
singular
everything.
root or
They achieve
something.
the exact same things.
It's
Which is,
incredible.
it's pretty astounding.
He eventually did write a screenplay that got made by Ridley Scott, actually, called The Counselor. And
Yeah,
I'm
I've seen the
very,
film.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
I liked it. I did like it, but it did. I think it was like I think the critical reviews were like, well, a lot of this is like a sort of a bit of it's a lot of McCarthy's writing on a screen. So like a lot of the
Right.
characters just like have whole like massive yarns and monologues, and they're just talking and talking and talking, which is cool. Whatever. There's nothing wrong with talking in a film, but it's like I think it's like a little bit of he should have just wrote a novel. I think um,
Yeah,
so
it
that
made me curious how the form would kind of come together for that instead if it was in a different
yeah,
medium or
yeah.
something.
I think it's really good, but it's like there's nothing wrong with the story, and it's obviously McCarthy, so it's obviously good. But yeah, whether the film was the right way to do it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that movie, even though a lot of people like to dunk on it.
Yeah,
um,
no, yeah, I like it a lot too. Yeah,
but yeah, you can tell that it's more so um, someone else's vision carrying that onto the screen as opposed to something that's more of like a singular marriage of two artists creating
yeah,
one thing.
yes, and where that's right. That yes, and that's natural. That exactly that when there are two people involved, there's going to be a gap, but there's a the authenticity is lost in that transition.
Yeah, and that I mean that that can't I guess that can't be helped sometimes because
Yeah, yeah.
the authorial auteur voice which commands and creates the authenticity is being forced to compromise on some level, even if that means being met halfway by another artist.
Yes, exactly.
Is it the authenticity we're looking for, or is it like love? In the sense that, like, so I think like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Ring films are like good. Everybody loves them, but like I know they're not like one to one with the books. But is it like it just how much he loves the Lord of the Rings books? Because like I question, like I feel like a lot of like people making art, especially in the right wing scene, they were just like, it's not like they loved art and so they made a book. It was like, oh, we need a culture thing, so guy, make a book about thing, and kind
Yeah,
of working
yeah,
backwards.
no, for sure. And then
Hmm.
like that's the thing. Like the Peter Jackson films are not one to one. That's right. But like that, I don't think the one to one detail carryover isn't the necessary component. Like, there's no way you can watch the Lord of the Rings films and say that they're not authentic,
Yeah,
because it transfers something. It transfers the authentic. It doesn't transfer the exact blueprint of the novels in a one-to-one fashion, but it successfully transports the spirit of the thing. It is authentic because it is Lord of the Rings, which is where like some of the details aren't necessary. The details aren't exactly the important part.
yeah, and it's more. Yeah, I think you're right. It's more like the context because, like as you said, like Lord of the Rings or the Goblin Town versus Orc City. There's like it's the context in which it's made of like this isn't a parody. Like you're taking it seriously, but like if you've read enough like fantasy books or some shit, like you'd be able to figure out like, wait, this doesn't seem exactly right. Not to gatekeep, I guess,
Yes.
but and have
No,
media
no.
literacy, but there is that effect on it, I think. Where, but I guess at that point you just gotta like own it and be like, at least for me, it's funny because like I don't read books and I don't consider myself an author, even though I like technically write books, because it's more of like how do I get the thing that I want out rather than I feel like so many people like they need to be seen as like a literature person, which
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
for some people that matters, but at least for me,
No,
it's
it's
like
true. I know. I have that feeling. So you're right.
you're a real artist. You're a real guy. So it just depends. But yeah, there's no way I could like pretend to be you, where like, it's like, oh yeah, I've read like Henry Miller or John Updike. It's like, no, I don't do know any of that shit.
Yeah, no, I mean,
why the
but that's the
reason
thing. Like, it matters
Yeah.
too much to me. Like, I think you're onto something because, yeah, people. As I said, like, there's a reason why, and I'm not gonna maybe Larkins will take offense, but there's a reason why Larkins and I use our names, and it's because we want people to understand us as writers, as authors. But there's a reason why people like you, Cringe, are able to live synonymously, and it's because you've not attached some of your identity to whatever it is you're doing.
No, you're probably right on that. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're kind of you're better off than all of us here. You're more well you're more well adjusted than Larkins and I. That's for sure.
You need to
Like
be
yeah,
know.
I was saying, I think before we started recording, I'm a whore for the credit. Give me the
Yeah,
credit. What?
yeah,
Acknowledge
exactly.
me, please.
Yeah.
I wrote a book.
The author of Hatesbury is more well adjusted than you and I, Jesse, which is insane.
A book with fucking tits and blood on the cover.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He's really confident. He lives his life with no probs.
He just
That is
does
what's so
shit.
funny because me and King are yin and yang, and if you look at our books side by side, you'd probably think that King was like the darker one, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
not true.
It's actually the exact opposite. It's so funny.
Yeah. My book almost looks like cute and happy, but it's like yeah, just like so
Yeah, I
horrible.
only got the because it was on my phone because you sent me the Word doc. I only finished the first story, but there is like uh Cringe. You've obviously
Yeah.
read Soapstone.
Yeah.
It's like oozing with style. It's like so unique. It is so original.
Thank you.
Like at first I'm like my first impression when I'm like, no way, it's like just line after line, like it's there are like these paragraph spaces, but it's flowing, man. It's a poem. The whole thing, the whole story is a poem. Like because there's clearly attention paid to where the line breaks, who says what next.
Mhm.
I was thinking actually there are even some cases where you've written, he said, he said, oh, this is me offering you a totally unsolicited critique. I'm sorry, but I was
Right.
thinking like it would flow better with none of that. At no point in the story did I think the he said was necessary because it's so stylized that you could get through the whole story without having to addend anything like that.
Wow.
Honestly, I was
Man.
blown away, man. I was blown away.
Yeah.
And I read it on my phone. Like as I said, like I always struggled to do that, so I couldn't get. I got through the first story. I was like, I'm going to bed. But I mean, really, incredible. And I like they like talk about the question whether or not it's like who's red pilled and where do you sit, especially in this sphere. You were writing about these guys who are effectively internet gay for pay, and they're like
Yeah.
becoming extremely gay, but it still remains like extremely dark and edgy. I thought it was incredible, bro.
Yeah, strange. Well, I can't thank you enough. I really do appreciate hearing all that. Yeah, it is funny because strangely enough, like metaphorically, the main character of that story is like turning into a woman on the inside or something.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
And he coded, but no, I really do appreciate that and what you said about the flow of it because yeah, I really try to pay attention to that and make
Yeah,
sure.
it's there. I thought that line by line, I can see that you were paying attention to like the. I'm not.
Yeah.
Is it meter? What's the term? What's the poetic
Mhm.
term?
Meter,
Meter.
Yeah.
rhythm. I don't know. But yeah, the prose is excellent in Soap Scum, and just like I just
And
remember.
so stylized. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember reading it the first time, like just I like even forgetting the prose, like bro, like it just felt like Jesse was like just kicking me in the ribs like the whole time. It's like,
Sure.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh you made this happened to this person. Fuck.
It's
That's
really
so
got a
funny.
voice. It's really got a voice.
Yeah,
That's like the most important part. Every time because I do it a lot because I used to hang out like in the slash crit slash threads on lit, and it's just like I don't know how many pieces of fiction I've just like edited and reviewed just like on 4chan or whatever, even in the writing chats we have,
Mhm.
and it's like is like straight away I'm like there's no voice. There's no voice. There's like that's my every time my advice is always like, you should rewrite this and try and think about how you want it to sound, because it sounds
Right.
like every other piece of slop I've read. Like, it's like, and whatever. Sometimes the subject matter is like, oh, I woke up and I was depressed and I'm a kid and I'm a guy, whatever. So that's hard enough. But yeah, other times I'm like, there's no voice, and I'm always like, you go to the opening pages of Moby Dick. I'm like not a Melville scholar whatsoever. I've read Moby Dick twice, but and that's not a flex. I didn't understand it the first time, so I read it again and barely understood it the second time. But what's like so captivating is his literally from the very first line, you're in the hands of this narrator who knows exactly how he sounds. So yeah, and that's what I thought with that story in Soap Scum. It's like that's your voice from the outset, from the very first line. There's a voice there,
Fuck
and
yeah.
I talk about authenticity. Voice is necessary. Voice is the most necessary thing for a piece of literature to feel authentic.
I would just say, just from a technical aspect, you guys maybe you'll find this really funny. Just to pull it back to my stuff. So you talked about like the he said she said stuff. That's why I write in a script style, is because I realized I was just doing he said she said for everything. I was like, just knock that stuff out, and then you just have the
Yeah,
script,
yeah,
and
definitely.
that's why it's the way it is, just from like a technical standpoint, which. Yeah, I don't like I find maybe this is a problem, but you can when you start writing, because I was originally also gonna write like a writer, and I feel like people a lot of times it's just excuses. It's just I wrote this entire sentence for an excuse to say this word, and I feel like a lot of artists they feel like beholden to writing norms that you can't just get rid of he said she said. It must be there. But I think this also plays into the voice that you need to have the balls to just not do that shit and like cut out what actually needs to be cut out in terms of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
technicality.
definitely. And when you read experimental fiction, postmodern fiction, for example, like a lot of people start with Foster Wallace, right? But you can move on to Gaddis, you can move on to Gass, John Barth, etc. And then they do whatever they want. They'll do whatever they want with the prose. And
Yeah.
because you revere them, you already have, if a kid is reading David Foster Wallace for the first time, they're going to open the book and whatever he does, they're like, this is amazing. Or this is he's allowed to do this because he's a genius and he's figured out how to experiment. So therefore, his experimentations are legitimate. You can experiment in whatever way you want. When you're writing the prose, you can experiment with the prose however you want to, as so long as you have a consistent understanding of what you're doing with the prose. Like you can't just like throw in ampersands for the fuck of it, or whatever. But when you can make up your own, you can experiment with prose yourself, and you can have an internal consistent set of rules for what your grammar rules are. And I mean, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. Again, I got that. Yeah, I could not use AI purely for the fact that it would remove the point of writing in the first place, because that sort of that prose element is so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so based in intuition and like in the moment, rapid firing creativity.
Yeah, just kind of like people really need to get over themselves in terms of like writing rules for sure. Like, yeah, it's the freedom, and you think to back like, was David Foster Wallace also like, oh yeah, I must write in this certain way because some dude from 15 years ago did that. It's like, no, he just did it, and like having fun,
Yeah, you take
you know.
exactly. You take what you see and you do your own thing.
And I think you're right. Like, it, maybe this is gonna sound like Disney movie shit, but it doesn't matter if you use AI or if you don't use AI or whatever. Like, I think the spirit of having fun, like you, Jack, you're gonna have fun writing it. So just have like fun, like you can't. Uh, so you know, it's It's the way. It is.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right.
No, for sure. It's yeah, yeah. Sorry, bro.
No, it's okay. We got it good, but I mean,
Yep.
we've been talking about just have fun. Be a writer, have fun, and it doesn't matter if you're using AI, if you're not. Whatever you want to do, it's good. So, I think we've talked a lot enough about this stuff. You think we're good to go, Jesse?
Yeah, I'm thinking we covered basically everything we could have.
All right. So, thanks for coming on, Jack. It was really awesome.
Hey, thank you for having me. I had so much fun with the legends from Subverted Subversions.
All right, cool. So we'll just sign out. It's been me, King Cringe. Buy my book on Hate Spree 2. It's on Amazon. Buy it now. It's awesome. 1488. Jesse.
Jesse Larkins, buy my book Soap Scum out through Anxiety Press, but it's on Amazon.com.
All right, and Jack.
Sleep Capricorn. I will give the link to the boys. Thanks, cunts. Catch you, cunts.